Aloha, this is my first YouTube live and never done this before, so we're going to see how this goes. I titled this, Are You the Rock? And I follow The Rock on Instagram, and he shares quite often about his life and how he made it and all the different things that helped him become where he's at. He's only like the most paid actor all in the history of Hollywood, and meaning like take all the actors in the past, and he this day is the most paid actor in the world. And so you think about him is like, man, I want to be like The Rock, man. He's huge, he's built, he does a lot of hard work, and it's really difficult to articulate what I want to say without being a Debbie Downer. But what I want to do is try to inspire you to not give up, to have clarity on what it is that you're trying to do. And I guarantee you, The Rock had clarity of where he wanted to go. And so think about it. The Rock wanted to be an NFL player, right? And he got injured, I believe, and he couldn't become an NFL. He tried to walk on to the Canadian League and couldn't do that, right? And so then he went into wrestling, right? And then wrestling, brought him to a certain point. But I don't think wrestling was where his pinnacle was, where his dream was. It was just kind of like, man, I can't do this, I can't do that, so I'm just going to try wrestling. So then he tried wrestling. And then he went from wrestling and he went to acting. And if you think about when he was acting, a lot of his movies in the beginning weren't these kick butt, great movies, right? He did a lot of crappy movies in the beginning as well. He had some good, some bad, some good, some bad. But I think what was unique about The Rock is that he was consistent, meaning when he focused on whatever it is, okay, I'm going to do wrestling, and he tried football 100,000, 100%, but his injury kept him from being able to play at the optimal level. And so when he did wrestling, he did it to the best that he could, right? And he literally became a pretty much icon with his eye, right? The Rock, do you smell what The Rock is cooking, right? That, I remember growing up, for me, he's a little bit older than me, but I remember for me, like, I remember that growing up in my late teen years. And so he became that, but I don't think that's where he wanted to be. That was kind of like, because I don't think wrestling paid that well, not the way he's getting paid now. And so he was consistent. And then he said, man, there's an opportunity to be acting. Wrestling's acting, right? That's all it is. So I'm sure he took acting class and learned how to act and all that. And so he went into the Hollywood world. And then he was consistent with that. And he worked hard with that. And he honed in on his talents and gifting. And so now he became this icon in acting, right? So now he's pretty much every big movie. Most of his movies now do great. But that wasn't just happened overnight. And if you think about it, there's 7+ billion people in this world, and he's just one person. One person. So the percentage, think about the percentage of all the actors, the Tom Cruises, the Jennifer Lopez trying to jump into acting, all these actors out there, and they haven't not even, well, maybe Tom Cruise, maybe, but they haven't even scratched the surface of what The Rock was able to do, Dwayne Johnson, right? And so it's amazing to see a man like that, where he was at and the challenges that he had, and he overcame, was consistent, was very consistent to get to where he's at. Now, obviously, he's a phenomenon, right? He just bought, the pro NXL, I think, NXL, which is the indoor football league. And so you see this, oh, I want to be that, I want to be that. So here's the point of this whole video. And again, this is live, so I hope I don't say something that I'm like, crap, I shouldn't say that. But here's the whole point. He was consistent. And I feel like what happens is I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own business. It's successful in the world's eye. We're doing pretty good. And I looked at my life and my challenges, and where I say was the best part of what I did to be successful. I would quotes, because I think success is a different thing, but within the context of what I'm talking about, to be successful, I was consistent. I worked hard. But I like better work smart, not hard. Right? You could work hard. There's a lot of people working a lot harder than me. There's a lot of people working a lot harder than The Rock, right? But I think it's working smart, right? Working with wisdom and understanding and working hard is better than working hard. Working hard comes underneath that because then you kind of, you try to hone in when to work hard versus working hard all the time, right? And so I do work hard. There's times where I work 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week. I mean, it was a lot of hard work, but it was working smart, right? And so being consistent is key. And what The Rock did, I feel like, was being consistent. I feel like in our world right now, a lot of people come to me because obviously I do marketing. I help a lot of people out in the business world. They want to go from, hey, Daniel, we made 1 million this year. We want to get to 3 million next year. We have a $500,000 budget. Can you show me how to take this $500,000 a year budget and allocate it so that we can grow to that goal? So I'm always doing this, right? And I get entrepreneurs come to me, hey, I have this business idea. What should I do? How should I get out there? What should I do? And I always tell them, whatever you do, be consistent. Don't freak out. Don't get scared at the minute it gets hard. Oh, this is not for me, so I'm going to go do something else. Oh, this is not for me, so I'm going to, oh man, this is not working out, man. I made a little bit of money, or it's just they're not consistent. So you're just jumping wherever opportunity, and you're really an entrepreneur versus an entrepreneur. And the difference is one just goes after opportunity, and the other one has a vision and a plan, and then they're going after that. They're innovative, right? They think of something go. Not to say that jumping at opportunities are wrong, because it kind of overlaps here and there, but your ultimate goal, right? The biggest goal should be something that you sat down already and said, I want to be here. Like for me, there's a dollar figure, an annual wage I was going after. I want to make this much money, and I want to do it through marketing and advertising and graphic design and web development. That whole world, I want to do it with that. So whatever opportunity is within that is still entrepreneurship, because it's opportunity towards that goal and within the same realm, versus I want that goal and I now want to go, mow some lawns, or I want to go, start this business over here. It has nothing to do with my goal, right? And so again, I think it's very important to figure out what it is you want to go, and with a sober mind, with no money involved, and then you write down, okay, this is the structure. This is the way I'm going to go about that, right? And there's opportunities within that, and that's what The Rock did. Rock, I'm sure, wanted to be here, and being he was an athlete, right? And so wrestling, acting is all within the context of being an athlete, right? It's all within the context of being that. And so he didn't go so far. He didn't go, own restaurants. He didn't go, try to be a lawyer. He didn't go and, whatever it is, go salesman, right? He was, he literally did something within his ability, right? He was an athlete. So obviously wrestling works out for him because football didn't. And then acting is wrestling. So he's still within that, and he met his goal. So he was consistent on the framework that he created to get to his goal. And I feel like what happens with people, they want to make millions of dollars. They want to exceed. They want to do all these things, but they don't even have a framework to get there. And so because they don't have a framework to get there, they're doing all these opportunities, and they're not building anything, right? Football built wrestling. I mean, his acting career built on wrestling, his wrestling built on football. And so it was framework that helped him get there. Most people don't have that, because we can't stay there long enough to build a framework to build upon, right? For me, I was an artist. I love to draw, right? I painted these palm trees here. I love paint. I love draw. I like pencil drawing. I love all that. So then I went to the Art Institute of Dallas. I graduated to Associate Applied Arts, 2-year degree. They took 4 years, crammed it in 2 years. And that was really hard for me. So I keep building that framework. And then from that, I taught myself how to do web design. And then I got, graphic design experience. And then again, building my framework. I knew I wanted to make this, and I knew I was going to do it within the agency or arts, right? And so I kept building websites, and and then I learned how to consult, learn how to, help people grow their business. And then, 20 years down the line, I'm finally, 8 years ago, it really started 8 years ago. So it took me what, 17, I'm sorry, it took me 12 years to get where I am consistently to be, where I'm growing and growing. My business is growing at 30% each year plus, right? But it was consistently built on a framework to get me there. But when you're trying to go all these different things, you're never going to get anywhere. And that's why in society, You know, what the new iPhone, I want to get it, the new shoes, the new shirt, the new whatever, you know, we're chasing the new car. And so we focus on these things, and it distracts us. And so we're trying to spend our money and not really invest in our future. We're not having the right people around us. We're being entertained, watching movies and sports, you know, shows. You know, we're doing all these things that are not bad, right? They're not bad. My wife and I, we like to watch Netflix every once in a while, right? But I will tell you one thing, and I'll tell you, I guarantee you, if you ask The Rock, he'll probably say the same thing. In the grind, in the learning process, the investing process, there's no time for that. There's no time to be entertained. There's no time to be just, you know, kicking off your shoes and just relaxing. Obviously, you got to figure out a day to rest every day. I mean, every week, you know, and I did that. But man, when it was grind time, it was grind time. So I feel like in society, people come to me, Daniel, I want to be this. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a whatever, but they don't want to put in the work that takes them there. Right. And so for me, I did the hard work, right? Like Pebble Beach. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just letting you know, just to share my heart. Right. So this is a Pebble Beach. You know, I love golf. I was playing the golf course at Pebble Beach on my Sega Genesis when I lived here in Hawaii, right? But that was like a pipe dream. Like, I'll never be able to afford to play at Pebble Beach. Come on, man. I love playing golf. I played a little bit in high school, you know, played basketball as well. And, you know, I just love golf, right? And so obviously you can tell, right? And so for me to be able to play at Pebble Beach, you know, was like a pipe dream. But man, my 40th birthday, I flew out with my wife. I flew out to Pebble Beach, stayed in the resort, and I played Pebble Beach. And is that like really important in the grand scheme of things? No, for me, you know, there's other things way more important than that. But my point is, because the hard work, my uncle said, work hard now and play later. So I worked hard. I bust my butt, and I didn't have to put it on a credit card. We paid cash. It was not, I have zero debt, right? It wasn't pressure on me. Like we went out there, we paid for it, bam, we came back, right? And so I was able to, and I feel like God blesses people sometimes, right? In that way. I feel like God, you know, Jesus says the poor will be among you. The poor will always be among you. Oh, you could use that money to help somebody. The poor will always be among you, right? And I give, and I'm very generous with I'm giving. People who know me, they see that. And so my point is, I was able to go do that by the grace of God. But I busted my butt. I worked hard, right? I worked smart, and I got where I'm at, where I could go play Pebble Beach. I live in Hawaii. Right. I'm here in Hawaii, not because of, you know, obviously it's paradise, but there's a mission for me to be here. Right. There's things that we're doing for ministry. And I think that's what God calls us here. But that's a different topic. But my point with this whole video is that the people look at The Rock or people like that, and they don't understand it takes hard work. Look at Under Armour. Under Armour started out of their garage, the back of their car. Right. And they were consistent. And now look at Under Armour. Right. They were actually, Nike, I think, wanted to buy them for like $40 million back in the day. I think they're glad they say no, because now they're a competitor to Nike, right? And so you have all these great stories, but putting in the work is so important. Having a framework, right? Structuring your life, not to just always be entertained and it's too hard. And the minute something gets hard, I'm going to try something different. And then you have no framework to build upon. Everything is just kind of like, you have like a little thing here, a little thing there, a little thing over there. And you've tried a lot of things, but you're not really good at anything. And so I don't want condemnation or shame. I just want this to encourage you that if you're doing something right now and it's hard, stay in it. Stay in it. Be consistent, right? I say, for me, being a Christian, I ask the Holy Spirit, God, what are you doing? Whatever you're doing, that's where I want to be. I want to be what you're doing. And so for me, where I'm at here in Hawaii, I love Texas. That's where I came from. I love Texas. I thought I was going to be in Texas forever, but God was doing something different. So I was successful in the business realm, so that then I can move here to Hawaii and do what God's doing here in Hawaii and help people here in Hawaii. And the mission here is to help and restore Hawaiians and the people who live here. Right? But I could not be here had I not worked out hard, and I built this framework, right? My graphic design, my company, Red Palm Studios, a marketing company that I own, right? I did all this framework, and now I'm successful in the world's eye view to be able to afford to move my whole family of 7 kids to Hawaii and do the mission of God. For me, that's bigger. Pebble Beach, cars, houses, who cares about that for me? Really, for me, it's the kingdom of God, because that's going to be everlasting. That's eternity. That's going to be forever, right? I don't live for this life. I live for the life to come. I could enjoy things here in this life, but really I live for the life to come. And so for me, let this encourage you to keep going. Or if you don't know what the heck you're doing, then just sit down, find a mentor, find somebody to talk to, find somebody to just where you can just ask. So, you know what I did? I found somebody in my realm. I found somebody that was doing what I wanted to do, and I said, "Hey, can I ask you questions?" Can I? A friend of mine, Matt, man, he's awesome. He taught me how to do so much, and I just sat with people and I asked. When I was doing my clothing line, I went to LA and I got to meet with the CEO of Dada Shoes. Remember Dada Shoes? And I just picked his brain for 2.5 hours in his LA loft. And I just picked his brain. Michael Jackson's voice coach, Dorian Hawley. I just picked his brain. I got to pick a lot of people's brain in LA from my clothing line. And I learned. That's where I want to be. So let me learn from you. People have plowed the ground for you. They plow the ground. So you don't, sometimes I didn't have to plow certain grounds because I learned from people. So find somebody to help you figure out this life and then build that framework, have that goal, build a framework that's going to get. I always ask myself, what I'm doing right now, is it going to help me go towards my goal? If it's not, I'm not going to do it. I love to play golf all the time. I love to play golf 2-3 times a week. I play golf once a month because right now in my season of life, it's not part of my framework. It's not part of my goals. It's actually taking more time than what I wanted to, right? And so for you guys, you have to understand that it's very important to have that framework and ask that question. What I'm doing today, is it going to help my future? Is it going to get me closer to that goal? And I guarantee you, you'll get to where you want to be. But don't make money be your goal. Don't make business success and all that. I'm not saying that's horrible, but then you're just chasing money. You're just chasing stuff that's so hard. Remember, 1% of the world, really, well, let's put it this way. 1% of America makes $250,000 or more. Only 1%. So think about that. Out of 350 million people, only 1%. So I'm not saying making millions of dollars a year is wrong or bad, or you're not going to reach it. I'm just saying, set your goals, be reasonable. I had reasonable goals, and then I exceeded it. So I started small, and I met that, bam, and I started, bam, and then I kept raising it. But what happens is people go way out here, and they can't even get close, and they get discouraged, and they don't ever reach it because they get discouraged. Set a goal that is manageable, and you can get there, and then you can build upon that, right? And so, again, it's 17 minutes long. There's 2 people watching. Awesome. Hey, it's a start, right, for my first YouTube live. Thank you for watching, guys. I don't know if this comment thing is on. I don't even know if it's on. So for me, I want to do more of these. I want to eventually just answer questions, right? I do this for a living, right? Consulting. I consult my customers, right? In the world of business, in the world of brand, in the world of trying to get your brand or product or service online. And so really I want to answer questions in the sense of life, just what, being a husband, being a friend, being a business owner, being an employee, whatever it is. I want to start more of this. I feel like there's stuff that I learned and I don't like to brag about it. I don't like to, hey, Valerie, wait, awesome. Hi. I don't like to brag. I don't like to puff up my stuff, but I feel like a lot of people could learn. I have 7 kids. I live in Hawaii. I own my own business. It's successful, and so obviously I might be doing something right. So if I can share my knowledge of how I got here, right? I've been married for 20 years. We just celebrated our marriage for 20 years. 1 wife, 7 kids, 1 woman, right? I got married at 20. My wife was 18. So obviously I'm doing something right to see the fruit that I see. So I'm not bragging. I'm still in this journey. I still got a lot to learn. I am not perfect. I'm still growing every day. But if I can help people, if I can share knowledge and wisdom that I've learned from people that help me, I want to pay it forward. I want to share it with you guys. And so I'm going to try to do more of these videos. And if you like it, then like it. Put a comment. Say, hey, Daniel, put a question in the comments. That way I can answer it. And if I don't answer it this time, then I'm going to make sure I jot it down so I can answer it later. Again, like the rocks of the world, they get fame I always say I want to be wealthy, but I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. Trust me, I don't want people, to know me, right? But I feel like what I have to offer can help so many people as being an average person in the system, and then now being part of that 1% in the system, right? And so for me, if I can pass that forward, the knowledge and the information that I got to get to where I'm at, and companies that I help grow from year after year, I could share it with you, and maybe it'll help you to be a woman or a man of God, help you to be a good human, help you grow in your business, help you grow as an employee, help you grow as wherever in your life. And so that's my hope. That's always my hope. I always say this. I'll end with this. I always say this. My hope in life is everyone that I engage with is that my ceiling becomes their floor, and they can build on upon that floor higher and greater than I can ever go. That's always my goal. I don't see this as competition. I don't want to replace people. I want people to come up here and pass me. I want them to shine. I want them to keep going. I want to find the golden people and provoke them to want to work harder and be who they're called to be. Right. And so that's my goal with it. So thank you for watching. I hope that helped you. If you missed it, the point is to be consistent. The Rock was very consistent in what he was doing, and he built a framework, and he built upon to get him to where he's at. Right? And there's so many. I can say so many different stories of different people. The reason why I said The Rock, I was on Instagram and I saw a post that he said about his $7 that he had in his pocket, and now obviously he's doing really well. Oh, here's a flight attendant for 27 years. Let's see here. Close on my property in Texas soon, God willing. Heading in Hawaii, become a farmer and help others become self-sufficient. Amen. That's awesome. Very nice. Good job. See, that's consistent. Attended for 27 years, and I guarantee you learn so much. You talk to so many different people that help you be where you're at, to the point where you're going to come here to Hawaii to be a farmer, right? So that framework is helping you get to that vision. So that's awesome. Congratulations. That's a long time. That's very hard to see. And so congratulations on your property in Texas. That's where we came from, Texas. In there, I was from Texas for 27 years. So anyway, so thank you guys. Aloha, mahalo aloha for watching, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again later. Oh, like and subscribe so you can be notified later on when I do this stuff. So